So for the orthographic view, we're going to simplify things down a little bit because we want to be able to put some dimensions onto this as well as having some basic shapes. So what I would strongly recommend you do is you copy and paste this so we know we've got one with all the right parts on, and I would put the copy and pasted one a long way away because we don't want it to affect how we're going to draw this. So plonk that one right the way over here somewhere, so all we can focus on is this part here, and hopefully we get nothing in the background for most of our views. And what I'm going to do on this is I'm actually going to get rid of any stickers because I don't want those confusing things, and I'm actually going to get rid of the mobile phone and the base. So we're just going back to basics on our house. So that's the starting point for this one. Now what we're going to do is get SketchUp to create different angles of our house. So I'm going to select it all because I want it to know where I'm going, and then on the side over here, if you kind of move down, there is one, if I just get rid of all these to start with, there is one here that says views, and if you click on that at the very top, what it's going to do is it's going to show me my house from specific views, and some of those are side on, top view, fronts, etc. So we've got all of the different like viewpoints. Again, sometimes it will zoom out and see that. So what we want to do is to start with is just make sure that it knows we only care about this view here. And then the next part is that we are going to remove these axes. So the goggles one here that says display, you're going to untick that box. So now when we see the house from the different angles, it's just floating in white, which is perfect. And then we are going to be able to do our different views, which is where you're going to get your marks. So you can have a play around and see which side works best. Sometimes it will zoom right the way out because it gets a bit confused about what we're trying to see, and then we can just go back and make sure we've highlighted it, and you are just looking at this house here, and we want SketchUp really to do that for us so everything is nice and straight and clear and stuff like that. So that's the dream on this one. You can see now I've got the side view. So that's the first thing, getting our views right. And then what we're going to do is go over to this tool here. It's normally the tape measure tool, but if you go down one to the dimension tool, this is a process where we would be able to show how big things are. So using the dimension tool, I can go around and just show the right. So you have a start and end point, and then once you've drawn that, you can then kind of plot out certain sizes and things like that. So I've clicked it once, I'm going to go up to that point there, and then because I want this view, I'm going to come around this side and stretch that out so you'll be able to see some of the key dimensions. And we just go up, and what I'm doing here is you're showing me that you've created the right thickness for things. So we set that at 50, we've got that as 32, and then we'll have other sizes that represent the various different pieces. Your numbers will be different because they'll be based on the numbers that you've created, but it's just a way of showing how big and small things will be. Yours is most likely going to be a bit bigger than that. And then what we would do is use the snipping tool to use that as one of our views. We would then delete these ones, so get rid of these numbers because they'll get a bit confusing later on, and then we'll use one of the other views on SketchUp, so it might be like the side view, and again we would do it from a different angle, so we build up 2 or 3 different views of the same simple house.